Hello and welcome to another episode of Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television. My name is Fanen Kwanun, and joining us today on the program is
Shido Taka. Good morning.
So good to see you. Compliments of the season.
Same here. So good to be here.
All right. And also on the program with us this morning is Benjamin Gutsap. It's a pleasure to have you today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here on the other side. And good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to the program.
So tell us, how are you feeling about the whole season, the times, celebrations here, people preparing here and there, what do you have for Nigerians? Just before we start.
One begins to wonder why the rush every time it comes to this point. You go out now for you to get access to transportation, it's a big problem.
Sure.
Okada is a challenge. It appears Okada is even insufficient.
Yeah.
If you go to transport services, the cars are not sufficient. If you go to I think bags of rice are not even sufficient.
I was thinking, Fanen, that this year was going to be quite different for Nigerians, given the fact that we have had a rough year. And I was thinking everybody would relax. It's even
rough
more.
could be relative.
Yes.
So maybe some people are not having it rough at all.
Maybe.
People have said that no money, but go to the market, there's nowhere to pass.
Yes,
Everywhere
that's
is
what I'm
filled up.
saying.
All right, gentlemen, let's go into the business of the day. It's Newspaper Headlines Review, starting with the Nigerian Tribune. And then there's this headline that crosses all the papers this morning. Tax reforms have come to stay. Tinubu, and that's from the Nigerian Tribune. Tax reforms have come to stay, Tinubu. And then it has several riders. Number one says, government open to consultations. I have no regrets removing subsidy, he insists. Rules out plan to reduce size of cabinet. Food crisis, we have no other choice but to improve production. All right, 2,000 tractors coming to boost mechanized farming. Just before we talk about that, above the nameplate, we have Office of the SSA to the President on Livestock Development. That's the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Livestock Development to transform livestock sector in collaboration with real people concept, embarking on stakeholders and community engagement. Federal government commences 50% discount transportation palliative for 144 routes across Nigeria today. Directs transport unions associations to comply, and that's the rider. Nigeria nominates Olufemi Elias as candidate for World Court Judge. All right, just below the independent picture there, you see, the independent picture is another side attraction on its own. You see someone holding a big chicken there. And this type would cost, let's say how much? 30,000 naira.
Exactly.
30,000 naira. Oh, wow. When I was growing up, chicken was just, 2,000 at most.
2,500.
With 2,000, you could get a very fat chicken. But here is a man holding a chicken, 30,000. And then the caption says, Christmas chickens being offered for sale at between 30,000 and 35,000 at Oke Ado Market in Ibadan. All right. It's an interesting one.
That's why Benjamin says that when you say rough, it's kind of relative because people are still going for these chickens at the moment. And we look at all the reforms that the president is trying to do, and one begins to wonder, is it even working, Mr. Benjamin?
All right.
Yeah, the first question,
Yes.
I have not discussed the tax bill for many times, but I've also been asking people the same question. Now, the question perhaps I think we should be asking ourselves is it right? What's the attitude of Nigerians towards tax? That's the first question we should ask ourselves. Is it good? Is it positive? Is it negative? And have Nigerians been paying tax adequately? Then if it is not, if the answer is no, it means we need to work on our tax reforms. Whatever the system, whatever the rejigging that is being done. I just want to pick up some things and read to you so they understand. This is, according to FIRS, only 1 in 5 Nigerians pay tax or taxes. Only 1 in 5. That is, the three of us here adding 2 persons. That means it's either you.
Or you.
Of course, I'm the one.
Or you.
That pays tax. So the remaining 4 people don't pay tax. Now, in 2016, Nigeria's tax authority claimed to have collected taxes from just 12.5 million people out of 50 million. So I don't know if your head is by now you should be thinking of
I'm trying to look at the percentage.
You understand? And if it is not even up to 10%, so 12 out of 50 million people pay tax. The question we should ask is, the 3 of us seated here, are we also regular in our own way in complying to the tax that we're supposed to pay? Now, what is a tax reform going to do to Nigerians?
According to the president, the reforms are pro-poor. So he's looking at a situation where those at the lower ladder, will be able to benefit from what the system brings in. And those who previously had, somehow had all the money would actually pay the taxes,
Yeah, that is it. So the president says it's pro the people. And for me, I would say, yeah, I go with the president. For sure.
Because you are the people.
One thing why I'm saying I go with the president is, first and foremost, the fuel subsidy. The benefit of the fuel subsidy is for the masses.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
It's for the masses. If the governors are not using it judiciously, then that's a different question altogether.
Right.
When the fuel subsidy came in, there were interventions, rice, trailers of rice. There were some palliatives they were giving. Some governors, I don't know how they use it. That is another different thing. So perhaps you would expect the president to come to individual states and ask you, I gave you this, what did you use it for? And what so the governors are the ones pretending in the states, and they are the one to trickle down the benefits of the first subsidy. The same applies to the reforms. By the time the reforms begin to yield great fruits, the governors are also going to share in that. And the masses are supposed... The president is not coming to shake hands with you and I here and give us the benefits. So there are people, there's a particular person who stands in the middle, in the gap, that collects and helps. So Nigerians' attitude and whoever is standing against this, I would say the person is not... does not see the future of this country. See,
exactly.
How many cars do some Nigerians have?
A lot of it.
There are some cars that Fanen, Ashido, some people have cars that have not seen the tar roads for more than 1 year. They only wake up in the morning, warm it, and keep it there. They have fleets of cars and they don't pay. In fact, some of us here, some Nigerians, when you meet the road safety on the road, you find a way to dodge.
Definitely.
It's when you see the roadman, the man or the road safety man, you do a quick reverse, like what the what hot. Like this, they call it kasongo. You understand? You do a quick reverse to avert that particular payment. So you see that we are cheating the country. But of course, if you go outside of this country, there is just no way you can beat the tax system.
That's right.
One point interesting for me there is why Nigerians don't pay tax. I'm just coming in from this perspective of this mentality that what you have is not even enough for you, and then you are thinking to take part of it and
also
give
pay
out them.
tax.
And then I think if you say the number of unemployment, taxpayers is small, then it means the number of employees are also small, because take for instance here we pay tax monthly.
Yes.
You don't even need to interface with anybody. Once your salary comes in, it's deducted from source. So I think it behoves on the government to also improve employment rates in the country. But that payee would come in, and then taxes would increase. And on another flip, the president, Mr. President, according to reform, says any around 800,000 naira below per annum, that's for 1 year, is going to be exempted from paying tax.
Yes.
Some of these taxes, especially the pay as you earn.
So that's pro the poor.
That's
pro the poor. That's pro the poor.
So where the skepticism comes in now is, a lot of people, the groups and people that are raising reservations about this tax reform of a thing, you discover that they are not people who are regular Nigerians, especially the Nigerian Governors Forum or Northern Governors Forum.
Right.
A lot of them are of the opinion that,
why the rush?
It should be scrapped.
Or why the rush?
We should
take our
followed.
time.
It should be consultations, because they are feeling that once the reforms are implemented, then they would be denied of certain taxes and all that, because part of it says about 60% of VAT, which is a value-added tax, would be paid to the states in which the companies are residing. The implication is that, we have said this here, the implication is that the company that is producing A in Lagos and has a branch in Kaduna is not going to be, 60% will be going back to the state capital, which is Lagos, making Lagos will have more tax. So I think rather than the governors to be criticizing this, people should go to work, give room for investment.
The issue here is this. That is one point. Create more jobs, or create, there are self-employed employment opportunities. But the issue here is, I think the people who would definitely kick against this should be northern governors. The attitude of tax paying in the north is below poor. I don't know how to describe it, so I can't just say it's below poor.
Yeah.
So now it means they have to up their game for them to benefit. So if I'm producing, if Lagos, for instance, where alcohol is based more or less, and they are generating tax from there and giving to Kano. What is then cheating in its true self?
Because that's what it's going to end up feeling like.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So now, if Lagos or whichever state bears that, of course, I think Benue also has a beer product. Yeah.
So at this point, let's not go into that discussion.
No, but no, I'm coming to that. Coming to that. What I'm saying is,
yes,
if you're producing this, the other states the state that produces this should benefit it more, or should entirely have that. You that don't have, you need to create something that can generate more tax
revenue for you,
so that you can also benefit and tell the other person that, okay, I also have what I can generate. So every state should begin to think.
Yes, listening to both of you talk, it now brings us to the fact that it's not just enough to do the reforms. Then we should think about how we can evaluate reorientation of the people to say taxes are important and you have to pay your tax. Because if somebody like Fanan is exempted from tax, he'll be so happy to sit back and not pay the taxes. But we really need that value reorientation for us to come to the agreement that taxes are important and let's pay our tax. I also saw another headline there in the Nigerian Tribune about the 50% discount, right, Fanan?
Okay.
Yes, on transport services during this period. We are here again this year because we were here again last year where we had those discounts, and the question on the lips of many Nigerians was the fact that we were asking who is benefiting from this. How do we choose those who benefit from this, Fanan?
I remember the last time we had a radio discussion
where
all of us were in-house that day. We were trying to ask questions. And then after the program, I took it upon myself. I wanted to know at least somebody that knows the other person that enjoyed the transport. But like the case of Ebola the other year, I did not actually know somebody, but I heard that people benefited. All right, so this year, I think basically it's about trains. The first I saw was about trains. And then now they are talking about buses. All right, but there are some designated routes. I remember last year, I think this route to Benue State was from where it was here, Enugu to Zakibiam.
Yes.
Yeah, so Enugu to Zakibiam was 50% subsidized. Yeah. So I think this year too, I've not taken time to go through it, but then definitely some Nigerians are benefiting, and kudos to the president for this. It's a good one.
I want to disagree on that. Coming to these issues of pittance,
okay,
to the poor. This is more or less like saying. This is quite disappointing for me, and this comes every year.
Every year,
Nigerians have embraced this particular trend of let's give them palliatives, more or less subsidized transport. I don't know whether you've heard of this in other climes, advance where we're borrowing our democracy. What has happened to the roads? Number one, you are giving me subsidy of 50%, and the roads are bad. So what happens? Why are you giving me 50%? Because I'm traveling. And then, perhaps, for how long is it going to last? Okay?
I think it's on the 5th of January or so.
Good. So let's give people, let's try to make sure that people are generally happy all through the year.
Rather than
not just one week, what they call it?
Yuletide celebration.
Yeah, one week of maybe it's a little bit of enjoyment. And this is 50%. And again, not everybody is going to enjoy it. Don't be surprised if you go around again and make your own report and all of that. You understand that the people who are supposed to even implement this, that 50% is not true.
Again, Mr. Ben, I would disagree with you because this is welcome. I'm not saying the long-term benefits of governance should not be felt.
Yes.
It's very good, but then there is long-term and short-term benefits. At least these ones.
Let's
but in the
enjoy
meantime,
it.
let's enjoy this one. So as many Nigerians that can enjoy this as its last, go ahead and take advantage of it. If you have actually seen the opportunity, go ahead and make use of it.
Why I'm saying this is governance in Nigeria has become this way. And I think in even 10 years to come, this is what the pattern looks like. State governors will also bring up their own. Maybe you hear tomorrow that from here to Boko or from where it's been subsidized. But the issue is, after that, what happens?
What happens?
The road from here to Boko alone, I traveled yesterday. I came back, I had to take Panadol.
Painkillers.
From Boko to Boma Junction. Do I need to tell you how it looks like?
No, we all know.
You already know.
You were able to pass there. I think there was a time people were diverting. Yes, there was a time that portion of the road was completely
And
off.
Again, I was coming back then, from Air Force down to Urukum.
Yes.
Goodness me. I had to use part of my clothes as my face mask so that I shouldn't inhale.
That reminds me of a situation where I saw someone coming from one of our roads yesterday. I was like, wait, were you attacked? Did somebody attack you?
So you see, when you fix those things early enough, the roads will be fine. The people will travel.
Definitely.
Even when the cost is high, they will travel. Many people. How many Nigerians are going to feel this 50%? Let's make an aggregation. Do you think 50 million Nigerians will feel this?
Maybe we're back to your analysis on tax.
They will not.
One in every 10
all right, gentlemen, I think it's that point where we need to take a break. And then when we come back, we would shift our base to other papers. It's still newspaper headlines review on Angate Television.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Televisions.
Big shout out to Agate Television. Sky's your limit.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Television, one of the best in the whole city of Makurdi. Peace.
Hello, my people. Keep watching Agate Television. Watch out for more.
Agate Television, we love you.
Special shout out to Agate Television.
Agate Television, you're the best. Shout out. Peace.
Shout out to Agate Television. I love you. You're the best.
Best channel, all the fun, the live shows, the best of the best you can get.
Agate TV, one of the best rising televisions in North Central Nigeria, which everybody should actually look out for.
Welcome back. You're still watching Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television. My name is Falen Kwanu, and in the house, Shido Taka, Benjamin Goodsab. So over to you, Shido. Let's listen to what the next paper has.
Yes, so let's move to the Guardian newspaper this morning. And in the Guardian, the talk about tax still there. Tinubu insists on reform, says market forces will tame inflation. One wonders how that will happen. And then there is this capture, high points of presidential media chat, budget and borrowing, tax again, fuel subsidy removal, bloated cabinet. He says he's not cutting down on the cabinet. Food inflation, not going back. And then cost of living crisis. Also in the Guardian newspaper this morning, Nigeria secures 742 terrorism convictions, acquits 888. That's 888, says ONSA. And still in the Guardian this morning, FCT doctors issue strike notice over alleged 6-month unpaid salaries. There we go again with the strike and doctors. We are saying we don't have enough doctors, and even the ones we have are going on strike, and one wonders. And then the Anglican primate bishop blame stampede, deaths and hunger, seek action. We also have this headline that talks about commuters pay over 30% more in fares as youth-tide activities peak. But let's start on Nigeria secures 742 terrorism convictions, acquits 888. Who are we convicting? Who are we acquitting, Benjamin? Something for us to, take a look at.
When you look at this particular figure,
yes.
Again, it tells you how much of the serious challenge, this security challenge you have in this country. That number is quite huge.
It is.
And if you look at it again, as I said, it's the percentage of those out there, it's much. Now, what should the Nigerian government be doing? If you've gotten about whatever number, the conviction and all of that, there are a lot of people out there who the security situation it's very bad. Terrorism, it's in the increase or on the increase.
Yeah.
So how much are we doing to tame this? It's a big challenge. And of course, you say hunger and all of that. But I've not seen a decisive blow of this government in that regard. In Buhari's time, there were a lot of rhetorics, or there were a lot of statements coming. We have, but what are you doing to make sure that Nigerians are safe? That is the question. Convictions, good and fine, but what are you doing that Nigerians are safe? People are no longer traveling at night. 7 o'clock is a big problem to all travelers.
To stay on
just
the road.
From one local government to another. I'm not talking of from one state to the other.
Even trips that you could complete in a day, you have to just sleep somewhere.
You understand. So the problem is, let's be looking at how we can secure Nigeria more.
All right.
Okay, for me, first of all, kudos to the Office of the National Security, Advisor. coming up with these figures, quite great. But when I saw the number yesterday, there were some names that I was looking for, because these high-profile names were mentioned. In fact, on several occasions, a report came that there are some high-profile Nigerians who are sponsoring terrorism in one way or the other. And then at the end of the day, you see it's some, villagers, or somehow, it's very complicated to talk about. But the real names are not there. And to me, it's more like trying to eliminate a tree by its branches. Of course, it's going to spring forth again, but if you move it from the roots, then it means that that tree is going, even if it will sprout again, it's going to take it a lot of time. So I think that this is a job well done, but then more efforts need to be put in place so that the issue of terrorism will be totally dealt with, because the numbers are great anyway.
Yes. Again, you have that those acquitted.
Yes.
888. What is government doing to ensure that they are reintegrated into the society?
Right.
Because perhaps they were in detention for quite a number of years, and now they are out. They had jobs, some perhaps were not, were just in error, arrested or whatever. So they've lost a lot of things. Perhaps their family members as well. So how do you rehabilitate these people and reintegrate them?
And make sure they don't go back to that way of life.
If they were not.
Yes.
But some perhaps who were not, if they are not properly reintegrated into society, after all, I know do them, but they say do them.
So this is the time to do it. Okay, let's move to Stampede. We had a lot of crisis on, food sharing and Stampede. I don't know why Stampede just goes with food sharing.
Yes, the Anglican primate says it's hunger.
Yes.
It blames it on hunger, and it's not far from the truth.
That's right.
This year alone, I think it started in Nasarawa State, when about 4 girls or so lost their lives. Of a high institution in Nasarawa State, they lost their lives earlier on in the year. And then just within the past week.
Just 1 week.
Within the past week, the country has recorded 3 stampedes. Your Ibadan, FCT Abuja, and then Anambra, Awka. This happened, and close to 50 persons were reported to have died. And one thing that baffles me again is the rate at which these things travel. The other time we were talking about petrol tanker explosion. You heard one in Katsina. The next day you heard one in Kano. You heard one there. You heard one there. And one begins to wonder how come does these things go like this? And also the other time it was a time of building collapses here and there. So the sequence at which these things occur. Well, of course, I don't want to go spiritual, but somewhat close to that. All right, so this stampedes, basically, Nigerians, what I want to say is that Nigerians should develop a way of coping. There's this adage that says if the bird learns how to, the hunter learns how to shoot without missing, then the bird should learn how to to fly without perching. You see? So Nigerians should take caution. Food that you are looking for, at the end of the day, you have died and you have not eaten the food. I don't think it's worth fighting for. So Nigerians themselves, I know it's hard on them, but even if the palliative opportunity did not come, you would still survive.
You will.
By other means. So go ahead and do that. Look at Oyo's case. Fun fair organized for children. And then some people came from nowhere and hijacked the whole thing. At the end of the day, the children who died, some of the people themselves died and all that. So Nigerians should develop discipline. Like I was saying on the issue of fuel tanker explosion, flee, run away from it. So the same with this food palliative of a thing. And if we begin shunning palliative, I think our political class or elites would also find other ways of getting at us. Because personally, no matter how hungry I am, I cannot go where they are sharing.
I think you are coming to what I said about the 50% stuff.
We just keep giving.
Don't be surprised again. You have a stampede.
You will
in the buses. Those people who are going to have 50% buses. But it brings me when you talk about food.
Yes.
I now go back to the Bible. I understand that during Jesus' time, there were more coordination in food when he used 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
Okay.
5,000 people. If I get it correct. There were 5,000 persons that they fed that time. And the coordination was nice. That was then, in the Stone Age. Now we are in the digital age. We can't coordinate how people should be fed. So it's a big problem.
It is.
Palliatives. If, as you said, we should shun palliatives. Total shunning. Once we see in fact, I wouldn't say we should go too violent on it, but let's make a statement, because it's a way of it's a way of these people seeing us and saying, indeed, they are very hungry. And of course, a hungry man, once you give him food, he will definitely come. It's just like a pigeon or a fowl. You throw more, you throw some, you keep some again, you throw again, they will come. So the problem here is how much can the people do? Government, I know by now some state governors or local governments or whatever, you begin to see on social media how they have packaged a group of women.
My way coming here, just within the neighborhood, I saw some persons gathered, and they are just there for nothing. You are waiting for palliative. Okay. You understand? So we should show this. Nigeria should leave these people with their palliative if they would listen to us.
If, for instance, you are a House of Rep member or representing a particular place, and I decided that let's make farming rice a priority, where I'm going to empower, for instance, 100 people to farm in that community, empower them. And these people, for instance, can in turn do something.
Nobody will come begging.
Nobody will come begging for rice.
Okay, just to wrap up on this, we hope that we don't see more of the stampedes, and just like a lot of state governors and the government is saying.
The last thing you are going to hear about it, there won't be any measure.
No, there won't be. Nothing to laugh about, by the way.
So just before we slide to the next paper, commuters pay over 30% more in fares than youth-type activities.
You know why? Because a lot of people are wanting to be on the road.
Shido again.
Yes.
Again, I will speak about the attitude of Nigerians. The attitude of Nigerians is always my concern, because we are quick to pin it on the government. We are quick to finger point that this so house member, governor, or this one is engaging in corruption. But us, we leave our own. So that tells me that if I'm given opportunity, it will be the same. Okay, because you see people coming, all of a sudden you hijack fares. You just push first. The price of fuel was normal when it was 4,000. It is still normal now, but you just decide that you would double the price. So
the season of Christmas is.
Wait, let's talk about the argument. The argument by transporters. The argument is, okay, so for instance, you have 1 or 2 passengers willing. There is a direction of movement, right? Like it or leave it. For now, let's talk about just the Makurdi-Abuja route. The direction of movement is more passengers wanting to come in from Abuja than you have the number in Makurdi going to Abuja. So let's not get to the situation where you begin to see people hang on tankers, hang on themselves just to make it home for the Christmas. So transporters are moving free vehicles to Abuja. That's the argument by them. They are moving these free vehicles to make sure that they are able to bring those people who want to come home for the Christmas. But that being said,
that is deceptive. That argument is deceptive.
All right.
That being said, we know it's hard for everyone, so everyone can actually.
We agree, but that argument is quite deceptive.
You can increase by 1 to 5%, 30%.
The argument here is Christmas period is for everybody to make profit.
That's right.
Even the woman, how you're talking of transport, what about the woman who sells tomatoes in the market? What is her own argument?
My mother expect to see me. I will transfer whatever I have to transfer, and then maybe after Christmas we'll see, because I don't have the stress to go and be rushing. All right, that's where we head to the next newspaper, which is the Punch, and then it comes to this banner headline: no regrets, removing subsidy tax reforms will go ahead, and this is coming from President Tinubu. And then with a rider, tax reforms to end colonial-based assumptions. No plan to downsize cabinet. All right. Okay, just above the name plate, 935 naira per litre petrol. That's the kicker. With it says Labour fought new price demands further reduction. High fuel prices major contributor to hardship, says NLC. Federal government rolls out 708 vehicles today. Halves fares. All right. Okay, and then here budget. Federal government prosecutes terrorists with 780 million. You know, senior special assistants get 2 billion naira vehicles. Now, TIP reunites 1,200 trafficked victims with families. Kudos. And then NCDC, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, is also activities, emergency centers as activates emergency centers as Lassa fever surges. I think that should be Nigeria Center for Disease Control. All right. So now, budget, federal government prosecutes terrorists with 780 million.
Okay, so that's what went down the drain to get that number.
No, I think this that we are talking about the 2025 budget.
Budget, okay.
As part of the thing. You know, that budget has a lot of things that are quite interesting.
It is.
I think over how many billion naira was dedicated to former presidents, former leaders, you know, former professors. Your professors can also smile now because there is a part of the budget specifically dedicated to their pension.
They will not allow it to be touched.
All right. And then now to prosecute terrorists with 780 million naira. Okay. I do not have the indices of the ones that were proposed to security, but this one for prosecution
of terrorists.
Benjamin, I'm just lacking words to express the way it is in my mind here.
See, again, for some of us who have at least been in, I've seen how this Nigerian is run, how the administrations, past administrations, do their things. I think there is no difference from what this government is doing as well. You vote a huge amount of money on these issues and making sure that people will benefit from it. Of course, the judicial, the lawyers also have a take on it, but I'm not so keen about that. I just look at where he said no regrets removing subsidy tax reforms will go ahead.
Okay.
And they say no plan to downsize cabinet. So the government is saying there is no plan to downsize the cabinet. It's saying no going back on first subsidy removal and all of that. The question again you begin to ask yourself is when you tell Nigerians to be patient, when you tell Nigerians, okay, we're working on things to make sure that this government becomes very successful and to the benefit of the poor. I think there should be some level of shifting grounds, some level of, okay, yeah, we can do something for you. Let's, on our own part, what are we doing? If we judge or we assess all the cabinet members and we see them, we score them, and we see that some score below the pass mark, these people should be dropped. And if it need be, merge some ministries and let them function that way, so that we can have what do you call it? We can have government running well. I saw the son, the former governor's son, Kaduna's son, in House of Erufai, making he made very quite instructive statements there. He said there are things that keep occurring in the budget every year, like buying of cars. So it means every year the ministries are buying cars. Every year, these things are things that, come on, when you buy a Jeep of 200 million, and next year again you want to buy another one, of course it will not be 200 million again. It will go up.
Yes.
So these are very fundamental things. I hope government will listen to it. I just hope that he didn't just make that statement, but that is the problem. That is the problem. So if we cut down some of the ministries or merge them, and then begin to see that some of the things that they put in budget can be removed. These are things that reoccur. Buying of printers. Every year they are buying printers. come on, Fana, when last did you buy your own? What was last time you bought your computer?
Own printer. Okay.
No, your laptop. Well, you bought it. Well, what was the last?
I think way 2021 or so.
So is it serving?
It's still serving.
Sure.
So why are we buying laptops every year?
No, the maintenance culture actually is. Because I used to have a boss there. I think he had a Peugeot 504, and then he was given an official Hilux truck. And then this man would, for the Hilux, he would be asking anybody, do you know how to drive? Do you know how to drive? Once you say yes, he doesn't care whether you have been certified or has license or he just gives you the key. But to his Peugeot 504, you dare not touch it.
No,
so that's the attitude of Nigerians.
It's government property.
It's government property.
Okay.
So that is the issue. But again, I just want to go back to that. FG rolls out 780 and halves the fuel. I feel this is quite very. What I wanted to say, I think I've lost the line. But again, how do you identify this? There was a time they roll out palliatives. Said they're going to sell bags of rice for 40,000. How many of you bought it?
That's the question.
It was for civil servant. Are you a civil servant?
Okay, how many civil servants bought it?
No, with all the palliatives, we're always wondering who gets it.
All right, we are running out of time, so let's quickly take a snap at sports.
Oliver Twist, Lookman eyes more success after a CAF Player of the Year award, and he marked his return to Atalanta's starting lineup with a crucial goal in their 3-2 victory over Empoli on Sunday. What do you think, Benjamin? Let's leave it with this.
Lookman, when we read the other time, they said, this is the man.
This is the man, look.
Look, this is the man.
I took that headline everywhere I went.
Yeah, so
that day.
This young man is doing indeed very well in sports, and again, some Nigerians. But for now, you have to give Lookman his flowers. This is his moment, and he has to shine. Of course, there are other stories there. You have there. Pep Guardiola wants City to train on Christmas Day. You know, of course, Guardiola is running after 9 losses of some games. He's saying even on Christmas Day, young guys leave the celebration and come to the pitch and do this. But we hope the training on Christmas Day will come with some success.
From Santa Iwobi, as Santa Iwobi gives out food in London.
Of course. So you understand. So, but again, I'll say, Lookman. Of course, Nigerians are doing very well in Galatasaray. Osimhen is also is feeling at home and is doing well. So Nigerians, great. And I would say that if they have great places to join in, to go to, they should go quickly. Okay, so with those sports headlines, we've come to the end of today's episode of Newspaper Headlines Review on Our Gate Television. And my name is Fanen Kwanum, and I work today with
Shido Taka. Thank you so much for joining us.
And I hope we'll have you the next edition.
Surely.
All right, Benjamin Gutab, many thanks for being part of the program today.
Thank you so much, Fanen.
All right.
It's a pleasure being here.
Together from all of us at Our Gate, we say a happy Christmas and prosperous New Year in advance.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you again.
Bye.